Hey guys, we are going to be factoring out the GCF and factoring by grouping when you have even number of terms. So these are the steps for factoring out a GCF. So the very first thing is we're going to find the greatest common factor, so the number and the variables that go into every single term. We're going to divide all the terms by this GCF. Our answer is going to have the GCF on the outside of the parentheses, and the leftovers or the quotients are going to be left inside the parentheses. So we're going to do the first two examples of these notes first. So we see it says the word factor. Factor is just another word for divide. So first we say, what is the biggest number that can go into 6 and 4? Well, we know that is 2. So if you don't know, we just do a factor chart. So 1 times 6 and 2 times 3. The next number is 3. So as soon as you loop back around, you know your factor chart is done. Same thing with 4. So 1 times 4, and then 2 times 2. So the biggest number that they have both in common is 2. So that's how you find the numbers that are in common. Now then we look at the variables. So this one has an x, we have to check the other one. So this one also has an x. The lowest exponent is a 1. Now they both have y's in common. Now for the y's, this one has 3 and this one has 5. We check the smallest variable because if we lay them out, so if we have 3 y's and then we have 5 y's, they actually have 3 in common. So they have 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups. So that's how we get y to the third. So the fastest way is to check if they have a variable in common and the lowest variable. Now we're going to divide all the terms by the GCF. So then you just divide. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. This one has 1x. So the exponent tells us how many we have. We're taking out 1, so we don't have any x's left. Now we have 3 y's, and then we're taking out 3 y's, so we don't have any y's left either. Now we move on to the next one. We have negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2. We had an x, we took out 1, so we don't have any x's left over. Now the y's, we had 5 y's, we're taking out 3, so we're left with 2. And that is our final answer. Now when you want to check yourself, if you just distribute, we have 2 times 3 is 6. X, there's not another x to multiply, so we should have 1 x left. Y cubed, there's no y's to multiply, so we're left with y cubed. So that one checks out. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. X, no other x. Y cubed times y to the second actually turns into y fifth, which checks out. Okay, let's move on to the next one. So in this case, we have 3 terms, but we still do the same thing. So the biggest number that can go into 8, 12, and 16. So if we quickly look at it, you know that 2 goes into it, but that is not the greatest common factor. The greatest common factor is actually 4. So again, if you need trouble, or if you have any trouble, you can just check and do your factor charts. But the biggest number that all 3 of these have in common is 4. Now let's look at the variables. This has x cubed, x squared, and x. So we know they have an x in common, and the lowest exponent is this one right here. So then the next thing we do is that we're going to divide every single term by 4x. Eight divided by 4 is 2. This one has 3 x's. I'm taking out only 1, so I'm left with x squared. 12 divided by 4 is 3. I have 2 x's. I'm taking out 1, so I'm left with 1. 16 divided by 4 is 4. I had only 1 x. I'm taking out that x, so there's no other x's. So this is done. So again, to trick yourself, you can distribute. So 4 times 2 is 8. X times x squared gives you x cubed. 4 times 3 is 12. X times x is x squared. 4 times 4 is 16. X, there's another x to multiply, so we're left with an x. So they all check out. So that's how you just factor out simply a GCF.